Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. I'm really glad you're here. This is Unit 10, Lesson 69, and today we start the capitalization unit with the rules you use in almost every sentence you write. When does a word earn a capital letter simply because of where it sits? The first word of a sentence, the first word of somebody's quoted words, that lonely little pronoun I, the interjection O, the opening of a line of poetry, a full sentence tucked inside parentheses. None of these are hard once you see the logic behind them. Let's walk through each one slowly, with fresh examples, until the whole system feels obvious. Here's the map for today. Most capital letters in English come from what a word is: a name, a title, a place. But a whole group of capitals come from something simpler: where the word sits. We'll cover 6 of them. The first word of a sentence gets a capital, and so does the first word of a sentence somebody quotes. The pronoun I is always capital, and so is the old poetic interjection O. The first word of a line of traditional poetry is capital, and a complete sentence standing alone inside parentheses gets one too. In every case, it isn't the word's meaning that decides, it's the word's position. Keep that idea in your pocket, and the rest is easy. Let's begin with the rule you already half know. Capitalize the first word of every sentence. It doesn't matter what kind of sentence it is. The storm finally broke at dawn. That's a statement, and the is capital. Where did you leave the keys? That's a question, and where is capital. What a finish that race was. That's an exclamation, and what is capital. Statement, question, exclamation, command. It makes no difference. The moment a new sentence starts, its very first word wears a capital letter. Think of the capital as the signal that says, a fresh thought begins here. Now the direct quotation, somebody's exact words wrapped in quotation marks. When those quoted words form a complete sentence of their own, you capitalize the first one. She said, comma, quote, the bus is running late. The is capital because it opens a full quoted sentence. But here's the part people miss, so watch closely. Sometimes a quoted sentence gets split in two, and the second half simply resumes what the first half started. Look, quote, the bus, unquote, she said, quote, is running late. That word is stays lowercase. It isn't the start of a new sentence. It's the middle of the same one, just continuing after the interruption. So the test is, a brand new quoted sentence gets a capital, and a quotation merely picking up where it left off stays lowercase. Here are the 2 words that break away from the position rule and demand a capital wherever they appear. First, the pronoun I. My cousin and I painted the fence. I is capital, even though it's buried in the middle. Tomorrow I leave for the coast. Capital again, right after the first word. It never matters where I sits. It is always a capital letter, standing alone. Second, the interjection O, the formal poetic O you meet in speeches and old poems. Guide us, O steady star, through the dark. That O is always capital too. 2 cautions here. This is only the single letter O, not the everyday O with an H, which is capitalized only when it opens a sentence. And no other pronoun gets this treatment. He, she, we, and they all stay lowercase in the middle of a sentence. Just I and O. 2 more places, and these are quieter. First, the colon. When a colon introduces a complete sentence that states a formal rule or a strong point, you may capitalize the first word after it. Remember this rule. Capital A, always read the question twice. That's a style choice, Many writers capitalize a full formal sentence after a colon, and lowercase a mere phrase or list. When in doubt, if what follows the colon could stand as its own sentence and carries real weight, a capital is safe. Second, poetry. In traditional verse, the first word of every line is capitalized, even when the line doesn't begin a new sentence. Whose woods these are, I think I know. Capital W. His house is in the village, though. Capital H, starting the next line, even though the thought is still rolling. Modern poets sometimes drop this, but for traditional poetry, every line opens with a capital. Last one, and it's a nice mirror of the quotation rule. Sometimes a whole sentence lives inside parentheses. If that parenthetical sentence stands entirely on its own, outside any other sentence, you capitalize its first word and put the period inside the closing parentheses. Pack light for the trail. Then, in its own parentheses, capital G, good boots matter most, period, close paren. That's a complete standalone sentence, so it gets a capital. But if the parentheses sit inside another sentence, doing their work in the middle of it, the first word stays lowercase and the period lands outside. Pack light for the trail, open paren, lowercase, good boots matter, close paren, and start early. There, the parenthetical is just a tucked in aside, part of the larger sentence, so no capital. The question to ask is always the same. Is the parentheses its own sentence or a piece of another one? Let's fold all of that into a quick check you can run in a second. 1. Is this the first word of a sentence? If yes, capitalize it. 2. Is it the start of a full quoted sentence, not a quotation just resuming after an interruption? If it's a fresh quoted sentence, capitalize. 3. Is it the pronoun I or the interjection O? Those are always capital, wherever they sit. And 4. Is it a complete sentence standing alone inside parentheses, or the first word of a line of traditional poetry? Capital again. Run those 4 questions and you'll catch nearly every position-based capital there is. Let's put them to work. In this first set, I'll read you a sentence and give you 2 versions of one word, one capitalized, one not. Pick the version that follows the rule. Think about sentence openings, quotations, and that pronoun I. Pause the video and choose before I reveal each answer. The coach shouted, blank, your eyes on the ball. Should it be capital keep or lowercase keep? The quoted words form a complete sentence of their own, a command that could stand alone. Since it's a full quoted sentence, its first word takes a capital. The coach shouted, quote, keep your eyes on the ball. My brother and blank repaired the old canoe together. Capital I or lowercase I? This one's automatic. The pronoun I is always capitalized, no matter where it lands in the sentence, even tucked in the middle like this. So it's, my brother and, capital I, repaired the old canoe together. Quote, the path, unquote, he warned, quote, blank, sharply past the bridge. Capital turns or lowercase turns? Careful here. The quotation was interrupted and is now simply resuming the same sentence it started. The path turned sharply past the bridge. Because it's the middle of one continuing sentence, not the start of a new one, the word stays lowercase. Turns sharply past the bridge. Now the second set. These sentences test the quieter rules. A sentence inside parentheses, a line of poetry, the interjection O. Decide whether that first word should be capital. Pause and choose before I answer. We reached the summit by noon. Then, in its own parentheses, blank, view stretched for miles. Capital the or lowercase the. The parentheses here hold a complete sentence that stands entirely on its own, outside the sentence before it. A standalone parenthetical sentence gets a capital. Open paren, capital the, view stretched for miles. Hear me now, blank, restless wind, and carry my words home. Capital O or lowercase o. This is the formal interjection O, the one you meet in speeches and poems. Like the pronoun I, it is always capitalized wherever it appears, even here in the middle of the line. So it's hear me now, capital O, restless wind. The mountain trail was steep, open paren. The blank took all morning, close paren, but worth it. Capital climb or lowercase climb. Notice the parentheses are tucked inside the larger sentence, not standing on their own. The sentence keeps going after they close. When a parenthetical sits inside another sentence like this, its first word stays lowercase. The climb took all morning. Let's gather what we've built. First, capitalize the first word of every sentence and the first word of a direct quotation when it forms a full sentence, but leave it lowercase when the quotation is just resuming after an interruption. Second, the pronoun I and the interjection O are always capital wherever they turn up. And third, capitalize a complete sentence that stands alone inside parentheses and the first word of each line of traditional poetry, while a colon lets you capitalize a formal, complete statement that follows it. The thread through all of it is position. These words earn their capitals not from what they mean, but from where they sit. Next time, in Lesson 70, we move to capitalization of proper nouns, the names of specific people, places, and things. I'll see you there.